We're going to call the meeting to order. Let's stand. We'll have a prayer.
Sure. Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for being able to gather here tonight and brave this weather. And Lord, we are thankful for some warmer temperatures and for the kids and staff to be able to come back to school safely. And Lord, we just hope that you can help us make some good decisions tonight and honor all the folks that are here for all their hard work, and especially for the board. It being Board Appreciation Month, we want to especially thank them. In your name we pray. Amen.
And now we'll salute the flags. United States flag. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And now the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Student spotlight. Well, we'll start with honoring Amos. We were going to honor Amos back in December, but he was a little bit under the weather. And so, but it's good that we waited because he got another big award since then. So he's the two-time Super Syntex Defensive Player of the Year, right, Amos? So that's a big feather in your hat. It's a good deal. So he's broken almost every football record we have. There's not hardly anything left, Amos. But no, he's got 6 of them, and these are pretty impressive. Season receptions, 83. Season yards, 1,222. Season touchdowns, 15. Career receptions, 131. Career yards, 1,935. And career touchdowns, 25. And so he has done wonderful things on the football field. And they had an extremely exciting game last night against La Vega and beat La Vega by 2 points right at the very end. So that was exciting.
He had 20 points.
Amos had 20 points. Wow. That's great. And so he's a well-rounded athlete. But best of all, though, is that Amos is ranked, let's see, I think I put it in here. What are you, Amos, like 10th in his class? Very high GPA. And really, most importantly, he's super polite and respectful and a great kid. And it represents us very well. We're very proud of people like Amos. He really, when you think of Gatesville, you want to think of kids like Amos Phillips. And I think he even does yard work for Calvin. I think that was everything. Oh, and I also put a little blurb in there about I think Amos is always being asked. He's 9th in his class, and he's always being asked, where are you going to go play football, basketball, all that. And I think he's retiring, and he can get a scholarship anywhere he wants, academically too. And so it doesn't just take football or basketball to get out of Gatesville and do something great. You can do it academically. And Amos has lots of options, so we're very proud of you, Amos. Why don't you come on up here?
Hey, Mr. Can I last night there was a little young man. What's that little young man's name? The little bitty kid that was so hot.
Lawson.
What's his last name? That's the kid's mother too. Okay. But he was just he's a pal, and you would just think that Amos would be his. I mean, he just loves Amos. Our Amos does an unbelievable job for those little kids.
Yes, Amos mentors young kids at the lower campuses too. So you're just an all-around great kid, Amos. Look at that. Yeah. Well, come up here. Let's get your picture. Family, y'all come up too, or take one. Britt, you want Liz? Well, Liz had to go to the campus. Right? Britt, you want to be up here too?
Go ahead.
Okay. This is awkward. We're like embraced. No, I'm joking. All right, family picture? You want up here too? You all good?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, get him up there. Come on.
I think the family should go. Family should go.
Family?
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Britt, you want
I'm coming too.
How you got in perfect height order.
All right.
While we're at it, I would just like to say, don't leave. I just wanted to say that Amos's mom and dad were 2 of the best kids that ever went through this school system. It seems like only yesterday.
Yeah. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank y'all.
Oh, yeah.
Next up, Britt Campbell for the staff spotlight. So Britt, not only did he have a thrilling win last night, but he had gotten his 100th career win earlier in December. And so that's a huge milestone. And we didn't want that to slip by and us not recognize it. And Britt, all of his supervisors had wonderful things to say about him. I'm going to read some of this. Of course, y'all know his wife, Candace, is a teacher at the primary. His dad, Ken, helps with the boys' basketball team. And he's built a really good culture of winning, but just good sportsmanship, too. And in the classroom, Ms. Shove stated, Britt manages to balance being an excellent coach with being a teacher who makes class engaging and fun. He's reliable, hardworking, approachable, and deeply committed, both in the game and in life. So thank you, Britt, for investing in our kids. And then Ricky Phillips said, Coach has a tremendous impact on the boys' basketball program, helping elevate it to one of the top in the Central Texas area. He spends countless hours each week to improve their skills and developing them into great young men like Amos. And he's deeply committed to the boys' basketball program and a loyal supporter of all the sports. We can see Britt at all the different functions. And then finally, Coach Aguirre said that Coach Campbell and his family are a tremendous blessing to the community. He's gotten great buy-in from the athletes, and he's always in the playoffs. He's dedicated and present at all of our events, even GYS basketball, which missed this Saturday because of the weather, but they'll be back in action. So he's really invested, and we're proud of Britt. He's done a great job. And an extremely tough district. This is like Murder Row who we have to play in this district. So Britt, you've done a great job. First time, I think, undefeated at this point.
So far, yes, sir.
That's great.
When's the last time y'all beat La Vega?
Ray Sean's freshman year, we beat him out of Vega in double overtime.
It was Connie the one.
Collins been 9 years.
Okay. They're next.
They got him. They got him.
Yeah, that's good. Good deal. Well, Britt, come on up. Liz, you want up here? Okay. She bragged on you. She ought to get to stand up here. And we wanted to show how short she is. Yeah. Thank you, Britt. Congratulations. Yeah, good job. Thanks, guys.
Now we want to recognize the DPS for a presentation.
Yes. You guys come on up.
All right. I won't take too much of our time, y'all's time here. As some probably already know, most might not, we were homeless for about 2 years. Dr. Pollard, Gary Stiles, and I'm sure many people in the room that I'm not completely aware of, were instrumental in finding us a home over at the primary school. Without that, we would have been working out of our patrol cars, which is feasible, but not something that, you know, we all like our space, right? And the troopers need an area to do their paperwork and just, quite frankly, unwind sometimes. So we're here in appreciation for that 2.5 years. I can't remember exactly.
It was about 2 years.
About 2 years.
Yeah.
So we have a certificate here from our sergeant area. We'd like to, it says Gatesville ISD Primary School. We'd like to present it to Dr. Pollard. In grateful recognition for your support and generosity in allowing the Texas Department of Public Safety Highway Patrol to utilize office space at your facility. Your partnership provided our troopers with a professional workspace that enhanced our ability to serve and to protect the community. Your commitment to supporting law enforcement is a reflection of your dedication to the safety and well-being of the citizens of Gatesville and Coryell County.
We sure appreciate
So really,
it.
we thank you. Come on up here.
I feel like I should have worked out before I took this picture.
Yeah, you're not so big now.
That's right.
Thank you again.
And these guys, they have a standing open invitation to come back whenever. That's the truth. Anytime y'all need to come back, we got there for you.
We appreciate your
Thank
service,
you.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.
School Board Appreciation Proclamation.
Well, Roger Miller, he's going to 3 different school districts tonight. So I said, just get here when you can, because Roger really likes to recognize you guys. And but in the meantime, I can do our part. All the campuses pitched in and got y'all some goodies. These little keychains were made by a 3D printer. Isn't that amazing? So we're really impressed by that. But all the campuses pitched in, and there's cake in the back room that we'll eat later, and all kinds of goodies. I'd just like to say that you guys really do a great job, and they have to do a lot of stuff, a lot of trainings. I know those trainings are tedious. Charles, you just got done taking one, didn't you?
Yeah.
And a lot of times they're online, and you got to click through 1,000 things, or you got to go in person. And these guys spend several days in the summer. They've got to be away from their families to go down to training in San Antonio, and even like in August, they have to do 3 meetings, 2 budget meetings and a regular one, and that's really pretty taxing. That's Calvin's least favorite month. And so, unpaid, lots of time. Usually the only time people reach out is probably when they have a complaint or a request, they're wanting something. But you guys do a great job of always having good spirits and a positive outlook with everybody. And the big thing too is that helping the district balance the budget, where there's a lot of districts that are not doing that great. And of course we're struggling a little bit too with enrollment, but we're trying to keep the ship, balanced, and we appreciate y'all always helping and being supportive of us. There's a lot of districts where that's not the case. And then the biggest thing looming that these guys have been helping me with is trying to convince the public to vote yes in May for the bond election. And so that'll be quite a few of the topics of discussion tonight, where we talk about that big bond, that big, beautiful bond. And so hopefully it'll pass and the public will be in good spirits in May, and not November. That's a tough time to pass one. So thank you guys for everything y'all do, and we really appreciate it. All right.
Review and approve audit report for 24-25.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nathan White. I'm a partner at Singleton Clark, and I have for you all the district's FY25 annual financial report, hopefully for the board's acceptance. Feel free to ask any questions as I go along, or if you got anything at the end, that's great too. But without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started in the back of the report on page 105. Again, we're on page 105 here. This is called the Schedule of Findings and Question Costs. Section 1 here at the top is the summary of auditor's results. The type of auditor's report issued is unmodified. That's a good thing. That means we didn't have to modify any of our opinion language. In short, it means that we believe these financial statements to be free from material misstatement. We did not identify any material weaknesses, significant deficiencies, or any material non-compliance. The district also required what is referred to as a single audit. That will always be the case here as you guys continue to expend greater than $750,000 in federal funding. And in fact, in FY26 and beyond, that threshold is moved up to $1 million, but you're still going to clear that bar. So you'll always also require a single audit. This year, the major program identified was the child nutrition, what we refer to as the cluster, the breakfast and lunch programs, for which we also had no findings or any kind of issues related to the single audit. If I could ask you though to flip the page 1 to your right, we're going to briefly pause on page 107 here. And this refers to the financial statement audit. We did have one small finding. I say small, I find this to be a common thing. In fact, I mean, just in general. I audit 25 school districts, and I probably get one of these 7, 8, 9, 10 times a year. So this is just a budget finding. Like I said, it is common, especially when you have staff turnover in the business office and stuff like that. We have the child nutrition, the food services functional item. It's really the only function of the Child Nutrition Fund. Did overspend its appropriations by $93,000. I've discussed this stuff and some strategies with Leanne. I don't foresee this being an issue going forward. I think this is just kind of one of those first year bumps and bruises kinds of things. This will be restated again next year in next year's report, but hopefully if we implement our plans, we're going to have a little line underneath that that says current status. We did not observe this condition again, but it does have to be restated for a second year. So that's neither here nor there. But the next stop we're going to make in the report, we're going to move up toward the front of the report, and our next stop is on page 43. Actually, I'll tell you what. Let's mix that for a second. That was a bad call. Let's go for page 59, excuse me. Sorry about that. On page 59, I just want to draw your attention to this last note disclosure. It's note disclosure 20. So this is my first year auditing the district, but anyone that I've been doing for a number of years has seen, we've had like a slew of new governmental accounting standards that we've had to recognize for the last, half a decade. And so this is, I think, the last one that'll be relevant to you guys for a while. That's always possible to change, but this is in relation to compensated absences. So historically speaking, the only time you would record a liability related to compensated absences was if the district had a policy whereby there was a cash payout for unused state or local days, maybe when at retirement or something like that. Sometimes you'll see commonly like $50 a day or something like that. And then that was judged for materiality. Was that material to the financial statements? And a lot of times it wasn't, because there were not enough people that were eligible. And if you looked at how many days they had on the books, it really just wasn't worth recording. Well, we're now required to recognize GASB statement, or standard, 101. And this standard modifies that to say that we also have to recognize any liability just for the fact that there are days there. So we have to quantify those days. The way we do that is with people's daily rates. And so we were now forced to put on the liability, as we were with every other district. And so that compensated absences liability, we are required to restate last year's balance. And so last year's beginning balance, if you will, for compensated absences is going to be $1,085,663. And then just to give you a little bit of a visual here, now we are going to flip over into the 41. This may kind of help give you a picture of it. So the bottom half of page 41 here is what we call your long-term liability roll forward. You'll see at the top you have like your general bonded debt. The district also had added some leases this year, or at least one lease, I believe. And then we have the compensated absences line there. So we have restated your September 1 of 2024 balance to be $1085. The district added $239,000 to that liability this year to end at $1,325,000. I will tell you that I believe for all of my districts that liability is just going to continue to go up. The reason for that is, as people progress in their educational careers, we know their daily rates go up. And we know from doing the analysis on you and 24 other districts that people just don't tend to use their full allotment of days of time off every year. So they're continuing to bank days, and those days are becoming more valuable. This is just a place mark, or a bookmark, placeholder, whatever you want to say, in your government-wide financial statements. This has nothing to do with anything you have to budget. This isn't anything that you guys have to do, but being that it's the first year to accept the new GASB standard, I like to go ahead and touch on them. And lastly, we're going to end on page 24. And this is what everybody actually wants to hear about. This is the district's fund balance. So on page 24, we have the statement of revenues, expenditures, and changes in fund balance. In short, that is your income statement. The left-hand column there represents the general fund, and if you peer down toward the bottom of the page, we can see the district recognized a reduction in fund balance on the year of $543,697. But never fear, that $15,288,639 ending fund balance represents about 6 months of operating expenditures. So you're certainly in a healthy place. Anytime we have recommendations related to fund balance and days cash on hand and all that kind of stuff, we generally just suggest anywhere between 3 and 6 months. So being on the high end of that thing, you guys are certainly looking good from a general fund balance perspective. Again, as of August 31, 2025. I can't speak to what we're doing here today, but as for FY25, you guys were certainly in a healthy fund balance place. Again, that's not prospectively. But that's it for my prepared remarks. Does anybody have any questions?
Nathan and his crew have been very easy to work with.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's been a great experience with them. It's tedious work, and so when the guys and gals that are coming over here to look into it and asking Leanne and her team for stuff, they're always very, very helpful, very accommodating.
And Leanne was fantastic too, by the way. Very pleased with our experience as an auditor. So,
That's great. We sure appreciate it.
thank you guys. Before I go, I do have a bit of homework. There's a certificate of board. So in order for us to upload to the state, we would need a motion and to sign all that kind of stuff.
Okay, do we have a motion to approve the audit report? Okay, we got one. Second by Charlie. Any further discussion? All in favor? You got it.
I need
Do you want us to go ahead and sign
two
it?
signatures,
Okay.
please. Yeah. We can fill in the same.
Is there one in this? Oh, thank you.
All right, appreciate y'all. You have a wonderful evening. Yeah, I'll get that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan.
Is there anyone here that is going to speak on an item not on the board? Okay, academics and student service.
Every year, the Education Code requires us to publicly report on our Texas Academic Performance Report, affectionately known as our TAPER report. And so keeping in the theme of the night, we have 34 pages in the report, a 49-page glossary that helps explain the 34 pages, and a 64-slide presentation that the state has as a template for us to go over. And so all of that is prepared for you. It's been in your packets, and thank you for reviewing it ahead of time. We're going to cut through some of the chase of what we're dealing with on this TAPER report. All that information, the 145 so pages of information, and there's really 5 main questions that we get asked all the time, is did our kids pass, can they read, can they calculate, are they graduating? And so those are the questions, the top 5 questions that I put on the overview. And you can see that on all grades and all subjects, the GISD is at 77% passing rate, and the state was at 75%. So we're above the state there. The numbers in parentheses is last year's marks. Can our students read? All grades on the RLA report, we're at 79%, the state was at 76%. Our students, can they calculate math on all grades on the math test? GISD is at 74 and the state was at 72. Did our students graduate on time? And they did at 93.1%. The region 12 is at 92, and the state is at 90.7. And were our students college, career, and military ready? And this is something that we track very passionately because we do very well in that area, but 92.4%, a region at 85, and the state is 81.8%. So that's the overall view of it, but did our students grow? Because that's really what the report tracks, and that's how we get rated on it. And we're at a 48% growth rate, which is 10% higher than we were last year. So we're at 38% growth last year, now we're at 48% this coming year. And this next slide, we kind of break it down onto where you can see the category of tests, the grade levels, and what tests that they took and where they were, where we scored as GISD and where the state limits were at and where we were above and below. So on the left-hand column, that's where we improved against the state. The right-hand column is where we need to improve against the state. So we were below that cutoff average. And so I'll let you look at that for a little bit while I pass this out. Just to kind of, instead of going over the colorful slides, we've got another color-coded page here that's going to make it very easy. Just to look at it at a glance, this is an internal tracking document that we use, and we track this longitudinally. We do this on each grade level, and we have last year's on the page at the bottom, and then this year's at the top. We have each of the categories and grade levels that are being tested, and the results from being approaches, meets, and masters. And then from this information, we draw some goals to reach, to aim for in the next school year. So in a nutshell, if you just look at the 24-25, what you're looking for the most favorable is no color coding and then the green areas. And so you can look at the no color and the green, and you can compare that to last year. So the blue and the yellow is where we did not perform better than ourselves. And so we always use that as our guideline. Regardless of what the state says, that's a measurement that we have to pay attention to, but we want to continue to get better. The red numbering is just where we didn't, we stayed the same. And so we're looking at that as not growth. We stayed the same, so that's an area of improvement that we need to work on. But you can kind of just look at this at a glance and see that we are improving in those different areas. Now what this shows us at a glance is that we need to start concentrating on those bubble kids. And so, you know, we want to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, and then we want to target the in-between. Those guys that are right on that bubble, because we want to move them from did not pass to approaches, approaches to meets, and meets to master. And so we're setting a time, our PD, with a curriculum focus to make sure we identify the students that are in the bubble and the teaks that they struggle with, so that we can plan all year on attacking those bubble kids to be able to get them to move one spot up. Hopefully, we want them to move more, of course, but the goal is just to move everybody up a spot on the results of the STAR testing. So we set some time across for the summertime. It's going to be the first week in June, so that we can say, you know, everybody, you're going to break down, disaggregate the data, and we're going to make sure that we have built in our plans those that need to be remediation and those that need enrichment. Because even though you can meet the standards on the test, we still need to move you forward. And so we have to plan for that enrichment there too, so we can get more or better scores in the master area. And so that's in a nutshell. Broke it down so you can kind of look at a glance, but I want to give you some time to look at it, think about it. I know you have all those slides. We're prepared to go through each and every slide. We can go through all the pages of the taper. I want to make sure that you understand the report to where you're satisfied with it. And if you have any questions, you can just fire them away. There's nothing to approve, so there is no recommendations. It's just information for information purposes.
I appreciate this. It's easier than going through that book.
Well, somebody has to go through all the pages of the report and the slides, but this way we can look at it at a glance and just kind of see, and then these guys over here have to drill it down. These are numbers.
Right.
They deal with
Right,
students.
they do.
And so they've got to put faces to names to scores, and then make sure that they get a year's worth of growth while they have them in their stead for that time. And so this was just a compiling part. That's where the rubber meets the road, and they do a great job.
Hard part really is.
If there's no questions, then thank y'all for listening.
It is.
The consent agenda is a list of items that are regularly just voted on as a group. If anybody wants to pull one, you can. Minutes of December 15th, financial statements as of December 31st, bills and payrolls for December 2025, budget amendments, year-to-date budget amendments to fund balance, vital signs report, food service report. Does anybody want any of those pulled? Do I hear a motion that we just accept them? Okay, Linda, seconded by Charles. All in favor? Now information, review of educational philosophy.
These next three items we go through every year, and we usually don't do much to them because we put a lot of time and effort into this. About almost 10 years ago now, we had that strategic planning session. It doesn't hardly seem like it's been almost 10 years, but I think we've got a good list of beliefs and goals for the district. And I remember that big committee said, well, don't let that sit on the shelf. We want that to help guide the district for years to come, and it still is. In June of 2021, doing what's best for kids was elevated from slogan to the official mission statement. So thanks to Dr. Willie Clark, who's looking at us right now. Great guy and had a great way with words. And then in 2019, we had the portrait of a graduate, and that was updated as well. The only thing that I think we might need to add at some point is some sort of blurb about AI, because that is becoming a major component of everything. And I know our teachers deal with it on a daily basis, trying to make sure that, especially like our English students, are writing their own papers and not having AI generated. But AI is also a great tool for the teacher and the kids, so we just want to make sure they're doing it appropriately. So unless y'all have any other ideas of anything we need to add, that will probably be something we would add to it. Any other input on that? This is just an informational item. Y'all good? Okay.
Board operating procedures.
So in the same vein, the procedures, each year we look at those, and that is usually all the ways that we handle grievances and respond to complaints and anonymous letters and media requests and all the different things that sometimes happen. Everything from evaluating me to visiting campuses and just overall handling the school district. And luckily, we've got a lawyer that helps us with a lot of these things. And we even had some stuff today where we had to call a lawyer to get some legal advice. And so they come in handy. But I think our board operating procedures are good as well, unless y'all had something in particular to add. All right.
Okay, anybody want to add to that? If not, let's do activity calendar.
Same thing, activity calendar. It's a guiding document that we have used for years. And basically it says, okay, here's the month of January. Here's some of the major things you need to do. And then it goes to February and so on and so forth. And so it's kind of a reminder to jog our memories like, oh yeah, every March we've got to do that. And so we have tweaked that occasionally over the years by adding something or rearranging something, but it has served us well and guided us through the years, kept us legal. And so, but if anything comes along during the year and we need to tweak it, we can always make a note to change something. Like for instance, well, we do it in September, but we want to do it in October next year. So again, nothing too huge writing on that, but wanted to always put that in front of y'all each year.
AstroTurf.
All right. Good news on the AstroTurf. So we should be replacing that here. I think we agreed upon April 13th. And it takes about, this is a conservative estimate, they say 3 weeks. I don't think it will take that long. But it's under warranty, so we redid the turf back in 2020, right during the height of the pandemic. I remember there were no kids in session, they were out there putting on the new turf. It has worn out quickly and terribly. It's just totally used up. So it gets a lot of use, and the Texas heat and sun has really ruined it. And so the AstroTurf people were very gracious. They said, yeah, this is kaput. You need new carpet. And so they're doing it for free. So that's the right price. Is that right, Mr. Alderson? Free. And so we're excited about that. And so it'll recreate what we have right now, identical. And so we're just working with them to find that kind of quiet time in mid-April to get it knocked out. So just want to keep y'all in the loop on that. Good news.
Also notice we have a scoreboard.
Yes, the scoreboard that is supposed to be here for the past 6 months finally arrived, and it's been installed, and so we're excited about that too. We're making progress.
Discussion, action.
All right.
Hiring elementary principal.
We're here tonight to recommend an elementary principal that you all probably remember, Jennifer Ortega, proud 2001 graduate of Gatesville High School. She's getting on up there. And so, no, I'm teasing. That's right. And so she has been a constant at GISD. She's taught here for many years, and she's worked her way up the ranks, and she's gotten her master's degree, and she's already gotten in 19 years in education between us and Cove. And so for the past 10 years, or first 10 years of her career here, she was a third grade teacher. Then she moved up to instructional coach and did that for a while. And now she's been assistant principal. And she oversees all the discipline and helps evaluate teachers and provide a lot of instructional support. And she does a great job with school culture. And she's Carrie's right-hand person that really helps her out. And so she'll continue to focus the things like safety. And I liked in her cover letter, Jennifer said, I'm eager for the opportunity to continue leading and supporting the school I deeply care about. I'm passionate about leading with integrity and building on the strong traditions that make our campus special. Gatesville Elementary is my second family. And so when I went and talked to the staff about, well, who do you want for your next principal? It was unanimous that they wanted Jennifer. And so, Jennifer, do you have any words for us tonight?
I would just be honored to have that privilege to lead our staff. They truly are my second family and my happy place during the day. They bring us joy, and it's a privilege to serve each and every day.
Jennifer, when you were a kid here in high school, did you ever think you'd come back and be the elementary principal?
I did not. I'm here.
Yeah, I don't think any of us did. Not you, but just all of us respectively. Yeah, none of us thought we'd come back. Yeah, that sounded horrible. Allie, don't put that in the paper. That came out really wrong. Yeah. So with the endorsement of the entire faculty and staff, I would recommend that Jennifer Doss be the next principal of Gatesville Elementary.
Do I hear a motion? Okay, Mr. Hobson, second. Cheyenne, any further discussion?
Nah, I'm kidding.
All in favor? Okay, assistant.
Well, we want to also take a moment to thank Carrie Judd for all of her time here. She's come and led that campus and stayed a little bit longer, I think, than what she wanted. She probably would have retired already, but she wanted to give Jennifer a good 2 years to kind of learn the ropes. So thank you, Carrie, for doing all that. So next up for assistant principal, now that we have a void there, same thing, Kristen Sullins. So she is has another been a product of working her way up through the system and the ranks. And she was a very talented first grade teacher for many, many years and is a curriculum expert. She did it for 9 years. And during that time, she got GT and ESL certified, and she's a heck of a classroom teacher. And we kind of, when you lose a great classroom teacher, it kind of creates a void. You hate to lose them. It's almost like we wish we could just clone her. But she does a lot of stuff for the campus. When she was librarian, she was also RTI coordinator, campus testing coordinator. So all that STAR testing that Scott was talking about and the MAP testing, that's tedious work. And she takes care of all that and keeps the elementary on the right track. And for the past year and a half, Kristen has served as the IC, and she does all the curriculum support for the teachers, and she's really a big part of the leadership team, and she's the instructional guru and kind of the curriculum expert of the campus. So she's been a good addition. And much like Jennifer, I went to the staff and I said, okay, y'all feel good about Kristen? It was unanimous. They said, yes, we do. They want that duo to be their next leadership team. And so she's really excited to fill that role. And Kristen, same thing, any words?
Well, after what you did to Jennifer, not really.
Yeah.
No, I started, I was a business major, and Dr. Harper took a chance on me, and I taught first grade here for 10 years, and I have no plans of ever leaving, and be happy to serve next to Jennifer with our people that we love.
That's great. Well, with the endorsement of the faculty and staff, I recommend Kristen Sullins to be the next assistant principal of Gatesville Elementary.
Do I hear a motion? Okay, Calvin, seconded by Linda. Any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, congratulations. Running track.
Another order of business on facilities. The old track up there at the football stadium is 13 years old, and it is cracked and peeling and lost a lot of its cushion and stuff underneath it for our runners. And so everyone has agreed it's time to replace it. And again, it's another one of those items that takes a lot of wear and tear, a lot of Texas heat, and so we really need to replace it. And we've been working with Mark Ball of Hellas. So they're AstroTurf's competitor, and they seem to put out a very good product. And so we've been very pleased with other districts that have used them to do things like tracks and things of that nature. And so what we're aiming to do is right after graduation, that week of Memorial Day, have the holiday behind us, and they would come out, and Mark seems to indicate that they could do it then. And I pushed them pretty heavily on the price to keep it at $300,000. And so he was able, through a lot of back and forth and a little bit of haggling, keep it at $300,000. And he's allotted some money too for making sure the asphalt underneath the track is all kosher. So when they get in there, if anything needs to be repaired, they can repair it. And so we're excited about that. And they'll stripe the area for all the requirements that we need. And hopefully by Memorial Day, it needs to be above 50. And so it should be by then. And they should be able to put that inserted in there. So it would be a cost of $299,451. And that is a project that we would want to take out of the fund balance so it doesn't pressure or squeeze our budget any. And so it's one of those long-term facility master planning items that we probably can't kick the can anymore. We better go ahead and try to shell out the $300,000 to fix it. And so my recommendation would be the board approve the one-time payment of $299,451 out of our fund balance to Hellas to replace the aging track located at McCamey Stadium.
Do I hear a motion? Calvin, a second? Okay. Any
questions?
further discussion?
Y'all feel good about that? It's worn out.
All right, all in favor? Okay, project manager for the junior high field house.
Well, at one of our early August meetings, we decided to go with the construction manager at risk method. And so just to jog your memory, that's basically a fancy way of saying you're going to hire a general contractor. And so the architect team is here tonight. There's Mike Boyle walking in. He's our lead architect and has been helping with all the drawings. And Tracy's here. Tracy lives right down the road in McGregor, and she helps us with the PR and the selling of the bond. And then, of course, y'all know Mr. Winkler sitting in the back there, who's project manager and has been an integral part of the team too. So going back to that, we posted early December that we were looking for the general contractor, and we opened it up for the couple of weeks, and we got 7 bids, I think, altogether, which was really good. I think the Huckabee team was pleased with that. And we got some kind of heavy hitters too, some big companies that oftentimes don't put their name in the hat. We were kind of surprised. And so we had good competition and a lot to choose from, and they all seemingly wanted the job. They put in pretty competitive pricing, and so we also kind of ranked them with the help of Huckabee, and I'll pull that up here. A little bit further. Here we go. So here's the fee breakdown. Make this a little bit bigger.
We have a couple of representatives from Cloud here, right there in the back. So
Great, thank
that's
you all
how
for
they came
coming.
in.
Yeah. So you can see here the fees, and Cloud came in second on the fees, but we used a rubric with 5 major subsections. And another one of the big ones, other than cost, is experience. You know, how many schools have they built? Reliability, do they have a good reputation? Do they have the prowess to have a lot of subcontractors that can actually get the building built? And Huckabee spoke very well of them as a past partner, that they've worked with you guys. And so in going through, you can see there's a wide variety on the cost here, going all the way from $469 to $905. And so that's a lot of wiggle room there. And I'll show y'all the criteria. So again, 40% of the grade, so to speak, was the cost, the fee and the pricing. 30% was their experience and their reputation. So what is their name in the construction of school business? Then 10% is, are they going to throw enough people at it? You know, are they going to shortchange us, or are they going to have enough staff here to build the building in the time allotted so we don't get behind schedule? The other one is methodology is a CMAR, like, do they know how this works? Do they know how to be a general contractor? And lastly, just any other factors, recent experience they may have, their organizational structure, good track record with safety. And so those last 3 were ranked or weighted 10%. And when we went through all of that, and they got their weighted score, the highest one with a score of 920 was Cloud Construction. And so it was a tight race. Number 2, I believe, was Masonic with 910. And then there's some others there with like 880 from Juris, 890 from Berry and Clay. So they all 7 of them put in a good showing. But overall, based on the rubric, we felt like the best combination was Cloud Construction. And then also just advice from Huckabee, their input as an architect and having worked with a lot of different entities, they felt like they're a great company to choose as well. And so that's kind of how we came to it. And so, do y'all have any sort of questions or anything about that process? So my recommendation would be, based on the rubric and going through all that fine print, to select Cloud Construction as the construction manager at risk for the renovations of the junior high and the field house, because they scored the highest, and at the best overall value and ranking.
Do I hear a motion to accept that proposal? Okay, Charles, a second. Okay, Emily, all in favor? Passes.
No
Bond
pressure.
proposal.
Guys, did y'all want to add anything? Are y'all excited about that?
Yes, very excited. We're looking forward to working with Gatesville ISD. Actually, my mom grew up in Gatesville, and all of her family was from Gatesville. My grandmother's from Gatesville. So,
Who's your mom?
her name was Lingfeld, and her mom was Cook, K-O-C-H. And been here, I don't think there's any of the Cooks left or anything. But, so we're excited about that and being able to work with you. And we have a good relationship with faculty. Looking forward to that.
And what's your name?
My name is Perry Cloud.
Okay, Perry Cloud.
President of Cloud Construction.
President.
My son Thomas Cloud,
Okay.
who's actually fourth generation of our family. Our company, we're 84 years old.
Yeah.
So we've been around for
That's great.
a little while.
Now, where did y'all go to high school at?
Temple High School.
Oof.
You've already voted, so.
Where's that rubric? Give me that rubric.
Yeah, that's the other category.
That's right.
Well, thank you all, and we're glad to do you a great job.
How long do you think this project will take?
I think we're gonna leave that up to Mike Boyle. We have not seen any design or whatever in phasing. Do know there's some renovation work, which is, safety is very important to us, not only for workers, but especially with kids and staff and everything. That's very important, and how that all works out. And ask Mike that question.
Overall,
We'll tell you later on, though.
yeah, the building environment, are things going well right now as far as getting supplies and materials and getting things on time and just the overall feel? Or are things kind of tight right now with tariffs and all of that sort of thing?
Right now, the material availability is better than it's been in several years. There was some concerns with tariff, but there are still some issues with certain materials, but working with faculty, and we can address those as we go. Pricing wise, it's very competitive. I think we can get some good pricing.
Good deal.
Subcontractors and all that.
We're excited to have y'all. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank y'all for coming today.
Thank you.
Administrative recommendation of bond proposal.
So one more kind of high-level bird's eye view of the bond before we, this will be an action item to ask y'all to have a special meeting on February 9th. That's the key date that we want to go ahead and have a real quick bond board meeting to call the bond, and hopefully we can get a quorum of you guys. That's the main thing. If we can get
You
four.
said February 9th?
February 9th.
I will not, I'll be out of state. So
Okay.
I can-
Things are dwindling quickly. How about the rest of you?
5:30.
5:30, yeah. Linda will be here, Lloyd, got it, Emily, good.
Day before
Okay.
my birthday.
Yeah, hey, there we go. So we'll have 5 to 7, that'll work. And so I look back, we first had our first board informational item about this in December of 2024. So we have been talking about this for quite some time and belaboring all the different points of the project and what we can do and not do. And Mike has helped us recently with just trying to get as much as we can for our 26 million. And so it sometimes requires tough decisions on things that even in the junior high and the field house where we've had to say, okay, we can't afford that room, or we can't afford this item. And so, but I think we've got a good package to present to the voters. And so the main thing I think for us to tell the community, and on February 9th we'll also get some ethics training from our Norton Rose Fulbright lawyers to tell you what you can say and can't say just to keep you out of trouble. So that'll be a good little training, and it'll be quick as well. But the main thing is telling the public that it doesn't increase their tax rate, because we don't control their house appraisals. So the multiplication of those two numbers, the tax rate and your property values, you multiply those together, you get your taxes. Well, they're not inflicting any pain on themselves with that one number, the tax rate. Now the appraisals, we don't have any control of that. That probably has gone up, but a homestead exemption went up to $140,000, and we don't know what in the future Governor Abbott's going to do with property taxes in general. He wants that to be a big item as far as trying to eliminate that. Now, I don't know how he's gonna fund public schools, but we'll figure that out later. And so, there are some good things on the horizon for taxpayers. But we want to, just as a reminder, add 6th grade back to the junior high, get the fine arts wing so they're not going across the road anymore. Get rid of those last 2 lingering portables that were supposed to be temporary and they turned 35. So we need to get rid of those. And then, of course, that terrible field house that made a huge impression on Miss Douchman. My Yvonne, my 5th grade math teacher, she said this is a dark, dank, terrible place. And she's right. It's very dark, very dreary in there. And she was like, "Can we throw some paint in here?" And it was funny to hear some of the community members when they took that tour saying, "Wow, this is needing to be addressed." And the campus is turning 60. And Tracy, she developed this slideshow, and it's really nice, and I have been going through it, and I've got a little bit shorter version that I'm probably going to make a video pretty soon to send out to the public. And I've been going the circuit of all the civic organizations. I'm on the schedule for Lions and Exchange and all that, but I've talked to the retired teachers, very supportive. Talked to the pastors at the ministerial breakfast, they were very supportive. And so I think we've got a lot of support in the community. We just need to get it out there to the masses. Tracy took some really good pictures here of things that are very much needed and wanted. Again, it's turning 60, and on the design, I like how Mike describes it. It's like a snake wrapping around the outside of it. And so it won't take the whole exterior, but a lot of it. And it will really help, I think, kind of modernize and update the outside facade. It looks like it's 60. It's got that brick kind of institutional look. And so I think that'll be great. And we're trying to touch all the things that are in sad shape. From the auditorium to non-ADA compliant restrooms. We've talked about a lot of that stuff ad nauseum. And here's some great pictures of the field house, looking at that. Just the flooring and the lighting, and Toby Williams are our maintenance guys. They do a great job with it, but there's only so much you can do when something's built in the late 50s. It's just getting too old. So Tracy's been helping us through a lot of community input meetings. We've been meeting diligently every month with different groups. She had captured some great quotes from the community. Bulldoze the field house, that was one quote. It's a dangerous situation. Let's prioritize safety. It's a great investment here. I'm in. And so again, they were very supportive. So again, we've kind of talked about all the things that we're looking at. So again, remind them if we don't go above 26 million, which we're not, it won't raise the tax rate. And remind them too, when they get in the voters booth, it's going to say in big, all caps letters, "This is a tax increase." And they're going to say, "They lied to me." And so that is a legal have to, because we're borrowing money, regardless of it actually raising the tax rate, it's got to say that. Because the public school district is borrowing money. But another thing is their tax rate would not have gone down if they had voted no. It's still going to be 89 cents regardless of what we do. And this is a good visual here, Tracy. Over the past 20 years, look at what the tax rate has done. It's gone down by 60 cents over the last 20 years. So we're trying, we're doing our part. And this is a good one. You guys have been good stewards of the money. We make those principal payments of $500 grand every year. We've got the second lowest debt of the districts we compete with. So again, here's some of the schematics, and this is very fluid, but some of the stuff that Mike has been drawing, you can see here on this slide, the fine arts section will kind of gum itself to the outside of the auditorium, so they'll have easy access to that. So that's the fine arts adaptation right there. And then as you work your way around the building, you can see this will be mainly classrooms up here on this side, where we'll have more classrooms to fit 6th grade in. And then this is the, is this the field house
That's
here?
the fine arts.
That's fine
looking
arts.
at the yellow's the fine arts.
And Mike, you chime in, or Tracy? whatever y'all want to say anything. And then this would be the field house where, so we have kind of gotten it on close by to the high school, kind of in that grassy area where the detention pond is right now. And so we think that's a good spot for it, where it won't mess up the parking lot, it won't mess up anything as far as the emergency route around it. So we think that'll be a good spot.
So will it be connected to the school?
It can't, either through a,
So currently, we're not proposing a direct connection, but it can be connected at a future date, either with a covered canopy or with an enclosed corridor. Right now, we're not proposing to make that hard connection because you currently have a drive and a parking lot there. And if we impacted that, we would need to essentially replace that somewhere else. And the budget isn't there to support it right now. So that could be a master plan, long-term plan to make that connection in the future.
And how many classrooms you're thinking about adding over to the
At the field house or at the junior high?
junior high?
Junior high, it's, we're basically replacing the 4 portable classrooms and then adding 8 to 10 additional classrooms for accommodating the 6th graders. And part of that too is looking at creating a new special education suite because those existing spaces are not adequate for what they need to do to serve, so creating that. And then also thinking too about how we master plan that campus so that there could be some additions done in the future too, if there needs to be some additional growth that happens down the road. So we're thinking about not just now, but the next 10, 15 years and what might need to happen there.
In the auditorium, I know I'm asking a lot of questions, I'm sorry.
Oh, that's great.
The auditorium, did y'all think about, have y'all decided on whether how are you gonna do the seating? Are there gonna be new seats, cushion? But I don't think they do those anymore.
Yeah, we don't have the details worked out for the auditorium yet, but from a high level, the plan is to work in some ramps so we have ADA access to the stage. We would make sure that we have backstage access to this new fine arts suite that has our black box theater arts classroom and band and choir so that they can directly access backstage easily. Replacing seats, so the seats would have actual fabric cushions, so that'll help with acoustics and comfort as well. And then really addressing all those hard surfaces in there that make it so bad acoustically, putting in different acoustic panels and treatment that we will work directly with an acoustician who specializes in this, so they'll come back with some specific recommendations that we'll follow and implement with those materials and that design to get that to perform the way that they'll need it to.
Thank you.
And new curtains too.
Have those curtains ever been replaced?
I don't know, they look pretty old.
She said, I know they have to be 50 years old.
They are terrible.
and I think they were hand-me-downs to begin with because they're not the school colors. There was some district that had maroon. And so, times were tough. Mike, thank you for that explanation. Any other questions before I make the recommendation? Well, I would recommend that a special board meeting be held on February 9th to officially call for the May bond election.
Any further discussion? Do I hear a motion? Okay, Linda, second. Okay, Lloyd? All in favor? All right, passes.
Thank y'all.
Daily prayer time and reading of religious texts.
So here's another odd thing that came out of the last legislative session. It's an odd thing. On the surface, you would think, okay, well, that's a good thing. But in talking with all of our campuses and whatnot, we feel like that we have our moment of silence every morning where you reflect, you can pray, do your own thing. And so we've already got really a designated time for that. I don't know what the legislature was envisioning, like were they wanting 20 or 30 minutes to where you bring your Quran or your Bible and you read it and I think that's a recipe for problems, where kids are going to bring something to be controversial or try to stir things, like, you know, or we've even had students who will be sleeping in class and then they'll say, I was praying. So trying to kind of stay one step ahead of that. I feel like that we do a lot of things to help our local churches do things with the kids already. We already, you know, recognize the National Bring Your Bible to School Day, the National Day of Prayer. The FCA is very strong here. We have a lot of student-led Bible groups that meet before school, after school, and oftentimes on social media, the naysayers will say, oh yeah, I'm sure it's student-led. No, it really is. They really do student lead it. Now there may be adults around the background to make sure somebody doesn't get run over or something, but the kids are leading it. And so I think we've done a lot of things that fulfill the spirit, I think, of what the legislature was wanting. But I think going this next step, okay, every morning we're carving out the first 30 minutes to whip out the Bible. And so I think that's maybe not a great type of thing. And so if anyone asks you, do we have a designated prayer time, tell them we have a moment of silence. That's what we do. So my recommendation would be declining to establish a separate daily prayer time and reading of religious texts, because we feel like our moment of silence already fulfills the spirit of the law as far as being able to pray before the school day. And I just feel like that my time in Belton, we had when sometimes the school got a little too muddy with the separation of church and state, the ACLU or other groups will step in and try to prove a point by, well, you have a Wiccan family, you'll now be reading, this student will be reading from this book. You know, it's no stopping it. You know, if you start that, everybody gets to do it. And I think sometimes the legislature forgets that, you know, that it's a free country with lots of different religions that are practiced. So, anyway. So that's my recommendation, would be to just decline establishing a daily prayer time and reading of religious texts, because we've already got the moment of silence. Did we vote?
I was just wondering if there was a way of saying, because we already allow this to happen, we don't want, there's no need for us to do anything else.
In my recommendation, it says it's management's recommendation that the board decline to establish a daily prayer time and reading of religious texts, because we feel our moment of silence already fulfills the spirit of this law. Because I don't want y'all going back to the community and saying, well, my word, I thought you were a nice church-going person and you declined to do the reading of the religious material. Tell them that we've got a moment of silence.
I was just wondering, why do we have to decline it if we already have it?
It's by law, they want us to vote before March.
They want
to put you in the hot seat.
Yeah, okay. All right, anybody else have a question? Okay, do I hear a motion to accept this? Okay, Calvin, a second. Okay, Linda, all in favor? All right.
What a bunch of heathens. Oh, I'm sorry.
We led by heathens.
Yes. Speaking of other weird requirements that came out of the legislature, this is our last item for the night. So now, before we can approve any library book material, it has to first be posted on the website for 30 days for the parents to review and read. And if they have a problem with one of them, they can comment. So far, we have had 0 people comment, because no one is going to look through that stuff. But we're abiding by the law and fulfilling what they're wanting. And I get it. Maybe in some districts they had some risque materials, and so I get it. But our librarians do a good job of picking non-controversial books. So we have posted, I think, 4 different lists. They're attached in the packet. There were no comments by any parents. And so I would recommend the board approve the list of materials as presented for library purchase.
Can I hear a motion? Okay, Charles, a second. Okay, Emily, any further discussion? All in favor? All right. Delay implementation of HB2.
All right. I feel like every time I come up here I have to say, in the last legislative session they changed the rule, but I'm saying it again tonight.
It's always been Texas law that you have to have certified teachers in the classroom. So it's always been law to have certified teachers, but a few years ago they allowed the District of Innovation exemption to allow you to hire non-certified teachers to fill classroom positions that were hard to fill. House Bill 2 of the most recent session said, starting in the next school year, 26-27, you can no longer DOI exempt yourself from having a certified teacher in K through 5 core classes. But you can make a new plan, a different plan, and propose to delay that. We don't hire non-certified teachers because we like the non-certified teacher better than the certified teacher. We hire non-certified teachers because there's not a certified person to fill that position. And so if we don't adopt this plan tonight, we could be putting ourselves in a bind because we potentially could not have a certified teacher to fill a position. And so the plan allows us to delay this implementation to the 29-30 school year. We have to show how we're going to reduce our number of uncertified teachers and continue to work with those who are working on their certification to get them certified. And the plan is included with the recommendation, with the action item. We only have 9 uncertified teachers in grades K through 12. 7 of those are in K through 5. So that would be 7 positions that we would have to fill next year with certified people that we just don't have those applicants. All schools don't have them. And so my recommendation is to approve this plan, to adopt the plan to allow us to delay the implementation of House Bill 2 to the 29-30 school year. I'll answer any question you have about the plan, about how we're gonna, why we're requesting it, what we're gonna do to delay the implementation, how we're gonna reduce our number of uncertified people. But also know it's the end of the night, and I don't want to go into great length. It's a short plan, and I think it's the best option for the district.
Well, we've already missed Wheel of Fortune, so you might as well.
If we don't adopt the plan, the reason we're requesting the delay is to maintain continuity of instruction so that we can't have a teacher in the classroom if we can't find a certified teacher.
Okay, that's good.
There you go.
You can make a motion.
The motion is to adopt the plan to delay the implementation of House Bill 2.
Calvin raised his hand before you finished your sentence.
There you go.
Do I hear a second? Okay, Charlie, all in favor? Okay, we are going to executive session.